Hello everyone, this is Yalda from Eat, Burn, Sleep, the online low inflammation, gut health and sustained weight loss platform. If you follow me on my social media, you probably know that I love learning, discovering new things, meeting passionate individuals. So I have decided to launch this podcast where I interview amazing people. We're going to be talking about physical health, mental health, well-being, with people who are passionate about what they do and who strive for excellence. I hope you learn from it and you enjoy it. Let's get started. This week, I'm hosting Neda Varbanova, the founder of Healthy with Nedi. Neda is a wellness blogger who loves anything health and food related. I have met Neda actually on Instagram and we have become friends in real life. We are having a conversation here, sharing different things with you, and we're talking mainly about health, wellness, and food. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hello everyone, welcome back on my podcast. I'm Yalda. I'm here with beautiful Neda today. Hi Neda.
Hi Yalda, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So I met Neda on Instagram.
Yeah, we're Instagram friends and now in real life.
Yeah, I forgot how we started following each other. Then we went for lunch actually.
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago maybe.
Yeah, and we've been friends since.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Instagram brings so many
It really does, yeah.
Amazing.
I love that.
So I love Neda's approach. I mean, she is the queen of so many things. A wizard in the kitchen. You're so efficient. We've done a few lives.
So are you.
You are so good. So Neda is, if you follow her and if you don't, she's this beautiful, blonde, delicate, precious thing. But in the kitchen, I tell you, she is efficient. We have done a few lives together. Yeah, and you were so brilliant. So there are a few tips I thought we'd share with my followers and the listeners and Neda. So I just want to know, because you're very good, like with all kitchen hacks, you've taught me quite a few. Mm-hmm. So I thought, would you share some with us that I might have not heard about before?
Yeah. So, something that actually I came about totally random. I was hosting a cooking class in New York and I was making matcha banana bread for 50 people that were coming. And all the bananas, when they arrived, they were green.
Oh no.
And you can't make matcha banana bread with bananas that are hard and not ripe. So I was like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do, And basically I took all the bananas, put them in the oven, and you bake them on low temperature until they turn black on the outside, and then you just have to peel them. Yeah. So that's an amazing hack that I didn't even think about before, and I came about it.
How much, like 50 degrees Celsius? How many Fahrenheit? Something like that?
Oh, I don't know exactly. Maybe 100? Maybe 50 is a little too low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I have to check exactly.
I put mine on for example, if I want to do banana bread. Yeah. I put mine and I have bananas that are not ripe and I know I want to do banana bread the next day. I leave them on the heating overnight.
Oh yeah.
And I wake up and they look disgusting. They look kind of black, but on the inside they are sweet.
Yeah. And that's how it has to be. Like soft so you can mush it with the fork,
They're not nice to eat, but they're good for baking.
Yeah. I agree.
Cool. What else?
Okay, so another one is about guacamole. And a lot of times, like when you are hosting a party and you make guacamole, maybe there's some left over and you don't want to throw it out and you want to have it the next day for lunch. But guacamole gets black or brown when the oxygen gets into it. So one of my tips is basically to put some water on top of the guacamole, just like a thin layer. A tablespoon or two, and then you cover it in a container, and the next day when you take it out of the fridge, just pour the water out, and that should keep the guacamole nice and fresh and green.
That is such a clever tip. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Amazing.
And you can put a little squeeze of lemon or or lime. Like if you are with avocado, like if you slice it in half and you save the other half for tomorrow, for example, I just squeeze a little bit of lemon or lime. That way it preserves it better.
So I do that, but I never thought about the water, but of course it stops the air from touching it.
Yeah.
It's so clever. Mm-hmm. Amazing. Because sometimes chefs, what they do is they put cling film and they stick it on it. And that works, but it's toxic. Yeah. I mean, it's cold, so the BPA doesn't leach as much, but still, water is such a good tip. Amazing. What else? Yeah. I want to hear everything.
So peeling garlic, I mean,
is a nightmare.
I didn't even think that this was like a hack, but I recently realized that because I love hosting and my girlfriends come over and I actually love to finish cooking like while they're, over, and it's a nice bonding experience. Yes. So I was cracking my garlic with my knife and they're like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like I never even thought about this, So basically, when you're peeling garlic, if you start peeling it with your hands, I mean, it's basically impossible and you're going to get garlicky hands, fingers. Using a knife to peel it, it's a little tricky. So what you should do is put the garlic flat on the surface and then take a nice chef's knife that's a little bit wide. Yeah. And then you just press the garlic with the knife and you just do like a little bang, like a crush. And the garlic just almost comes out and the peel falls off. And it's one of the best tricks I do when I'm cooking because I use garlic in almost everything that I make,
I love garlic. Powerful, anti-inflammatory, antifungal, and delicious. And who cares about the breath because it tastes so good.
Yeah.
And if all your guests are eating it, anyway, no one can tell
exactly
who's smelling, who's not, so it's fine.
Oh, I love it. So true.
Cool. I shared one recently with my followers because I use quite a bit of eggs in my recipes. I eat quite a lot of eggs. And so when you crack eggs, if you don't want any
shell in the bowl,
you want to crack them on a flat surface.
Oh, okay.
Not on the edge of the bowl, but on the flat surface.
Yeah.
And so that's why you can even crack them with one hand, but it has to be flat. And you know what? My son William taught me this, and he learned it in a cooking class.
Oh my God, how cute!
When he went to some cooking class, and he was like, "No, Mom, you need to crack it on a flat surface." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Oh my God, that works!"
I love that. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna try it because a lot of times I get like a little shell here and there, and it's so hard to pick out.
So tell me, Neda, I want to know, when did you start cooking? When did you develop this love for cooking?
So, when I think about it, it really goes back far, even when I lived in Bulgaria as a child, because my mom said that whenever she would cook, I would love to have a little stool next to her and like help her put the spaghetti in the water or like add the chopped up vegetables to the soup. She always said I love being in the kitchen and helping her. And then when we moved to America, I was in total culture shock from all the food and the junk food, and on every corner there was McDonald's. And in Bulgaria, going to McDonald's was like a special treat for maybe the first day of school or graduating day or like a birthday. Like you did not eat McDonald's more than twice a year.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe all the McDonald's is everywhere. Like every, 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes, like they were just everywhere. And then, I never tried like a Hot Pocket in my life or like mac and cheese I didn't even have before.
What's a Hot Pocket?
Hot Pocket? It's basically like a hot breakfast. So it's this crust and inside it has like bacon and eggs and cheese and it's frozen and you pop it in the microwave and it's a Hot Pocket and then you eat it for breakfast. And I came to America and I saw people were eating this and I was like, wow, interesting, but I didn't like it because I wasn't brought up that way. And my mom always cooked healthy. And so when I was in high school, I started cooking more and we would do girls' nights on Thursdays where two of my other friends, they would either come to my house or we'd go to their house. We would alternate and cook. Every Thursday was like our thing.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I think that's when it really kind of took off and then I was just always into it.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, it's true. It's such a... Actually, I experienced something quite similar when I moved to France from Morocco when I was 12.
Yeah.
The food was so different. And actually, that's when my tummy started hurting. Because, we don't really talk about this, but the way you grow up and the food you eat as a child, and that really, according to your genetics, where you come from, it has a huge importance. And moving countries, it's not just a cultural shock, it's also a shock to the body, to the microbiome. And I remember all my teenagers, I had tummy aches, and now I know I'm extremely intolerant to lactose. And I went from eating a bit of butter every day, yogurt once in a while, virtually no cheese, to cheese, yogurt, butter every single day, and milk in France, because it's
too much, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what was triggering that.
And dairy like that can totally destroy your gut. I mean, you know, you're all about that.
It's happened
lifestyle.
to me. It's happened to me.
Humans are not made to be eating cow's milk. Most people cannot digest it. Most of the population of the world is lactose intolerant.
Correct. There's a mutation in the gene, around the weaning age. And what are your favorite kitchen gadgets?
Okay, this is a good one. I love using a cookie scooper or like an ice cream scooper to make meatballs, because so when you make meatballs, it's hard to form them and all of them to look equal, right?
But true. Mine never look equal.
Yeah, but it's nice when they do, you know? Yeah. I'm also like a little bit of a perfectionist. So that can be a little cycle, but then your hands are not getting messy, you know? So you have your mixture and then you use a ice cream scooper or a cookie scooper, and it makes the perfect meatball. And one tip that you can do in between is you can have like a little bowl with water to rinse it out so the meat doesn't stick to the scooper. And then they turn out perfect.
I can be a little psycho.
Yeah, I'm a little psycho when it comes to that. If your
only psycho behavior is to do meatballs with an ice cream scooper, I think we're good.
Cute but psycho.
Cute but psycho.
Yeah. Another kitchen gadget that's very cool, and I don't think that many people know about it, but most chefs and restaurants use it. It's called sous vide, and it's basically this, it's not a machine. Well, yeah, it's like a machine. It's a gadget, and you fill up a pot of water, and then you slow cook either the meat or the chicken.
Yes.
You can make the most perfect poached eggs, and you basically put the egg in like that. You don't crack it, and you cook it, I think, for like 11 or 12 minutes on maybe 175. I can't remember the exact temperature. It comes with the manual and directions. And when you're ready to like poach the egg, you just crack it. Like you can crack it on a flat surface, like you said, and you put it on top of your toast or guacamole, whatever, and it turns out perfect. Yeah,
basically,
it's healthy. The food comes out really tender, really juicy. The
only thing is generally it's in plastic, so there's the BPA element.
Yeah.
So if you can find like a sous vide that's BPA free, then it's cool.
But they have some of these, I think, the stasher bags that are not. Yeah.
I need to try it.
And they're reusable too.
That's nice. It makes things look perfect and nice.
Yeah, really cool.
My food tends to look
especially
messy.
If you have to make like a chicken breast, and you know how chicken breasts can be big and sometimes they can get dry. You can basically pre-cook it there, and then you just pop it in the oven for like 10 minutes, or you can pan sear if you want, just to get a little crispy.
That's what they do in restaurants. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good idea.
Another one is a garlic press. If you don't have a chef's knife, get a garlic press, and then you can just press the garlic in there, and it comes out all minced up, so you don't have to like chop it up perfectly. And I actually added to cauliflower mash at the end. I don't even cook the garlic. I just added like that, just one clove, and it adds so much flavor.
Yum.
It's so good.
Yeah. That's such a good idea, especially with cauliflower, because it's a bit sweet. Or you can even put a drizzle of garlic oil if you haven't got fresh garlic and you have garlic oil.
Or like truffle oil or chili oil. That would be yummy.
Truffle oil.
Oh my God.
Yum.
I can't wait to come back and cook with you.
You know, I have some frozen tagine for you in the freezer. It's here. I've got some veal stew as well if you'd like to try. I saved it for you.
I love that.
We're recording this in my home, and I've got all these little foods for Neda in the fridge.
I know. Whenever I see you posting, I am drooling.
I'm going to start saving little bags for you for when you come.
I love that. Okay, another kitchen gadget that I love is a mandolin, and that's really great for zucchini or beet carpaccio because it comes out so thin and you don't have to cook the zucchini. It's super refreshing. It's a low carb dish that doesn't have many calories and very delicious.
I have one, and you know what? I don't use it.
Yeah.
I need to bring it out of I've got like this little room where I put all my kitchen gadgets. I need to bring it out. It's funny how we go through phases.
I know. I do the same thing. But if you're hosting, for example, like I was doing this breakfast brunch in my house, an event, and I had to make platters of thinly sliced cucumber, thinly sliced tomato, thinly sliced lemon for the salmon, and like to top bagels and stuff. So I used the mandolin and everything came out the same size.
Yes.
Like it was just beautiful and very nice. Perfect.
I need to use it. I have one. Okay.
And my last kitchen gadget that I actually cannot live without is the food processor. I think every cook should have one. I use a Breville brand, which is a little more pricey, but I think it's a great investment because I use it all the time. And I've had it for 7 years. It's knock on wood, like
this
their brand is new.
Yeah.
But you can find other ones that are less expensive as well. And I usually make purees, like a cauliflower puree or a cake batter or hummus. And another thing I use it for, which some people probably wouldn't think about it, is I'll make a meatball mixture in there. So if I'm using, for example, chicken meatballs, I'll get a chicken breast that's organic instead of buying ground chicken meat because you don't really know what's inside the ground chicken meat and which part of the chicken they're using, and maybe there's like fat and whatever.
Yeah.
So just make your own ground meat and I put it in there. I add all the veggies and spices, and then I use my ice cream scooper to make the meatballs.
Perfect ones. Yes, I have used mine recently for meatballs, and it's just turkey meatballs, and I was going to put all these herbs like coriander and a bit of mint and spring onions, and I couldn't be bothered to chop everything up. I thought
Throw everything in there.
You throw everything in there and it comes out perfect in 30 seconds. And what I do as well is I slice onions because sometimes when you make Moroccan tagines, you need a lot of onions. And my eyes are so sensitive.
Oh, same.
I stick them in there, grated carrots. And
love that.
Yeah.
My mom actually does that with onion and carrots because she puts in most of her recipes and she just chops it up like very finely. It's really good, yeah.
And I remember so clearly as a child, I loved cooking with my grandmother and my mom in the 80s in Morocco. We lived in this house. I remember the kitchen so clearly and it was lovely. And she went to France for a trip without us that time. We stayed with my grandparents and she came back and she brought a food processor. They had just come out like from Magimix. It was the biggest deal.
Yeah.
So I learned to use it. And it's funny how you can stay faithful to a brand, loyal to a brand. So that's the brand I have.
I love that.
And that food processor, I'm not kidding you, I think lasted 20 years and we gave it away. We didn't throw it away because it was still working. We just gave it away.
That's amazing.
They last forever.
What is it called?
Magimix.
Magimix.
It's a French brand. But especially at that time, what they made was... now they kind of want them to break, but...
they're like, you've had it for that many years? No, you need a new one.
Yeah, so, but then it never broke. It's nice to have all these things. I mean, for a long time, I was always making the cake batter in a bowl with a fork, and that works.
Yeah.
Until my kids got me the KitchenAid for my birthday.
Yes, that's amazing. See, I love a KitchenAid, and I actually bought that for my mom for her birthday, but I don't have space in my kitchen. In New York City, as big as my kitchen is, like, it's really not that big because you have no place to store it.
Yeah.
Not enough, cabinet space, and I use my linen closet to store kitchen appliances, and I have to skip that one.
But the truth is, for cakes, you just need a bowl and a whisk.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily
and some arm muscle.
And some arm muscle. But a food processor makes a huge difference.
It does.
It really does. That's worth the investment. And you can make the cake batter in there anyway. That works. There is something you're much better at than I am.
Oh boy.
Which is portion control.
Aww.
I'm someone who I mean, Neda loves food, but I think I really love food.
I really love food too. But I just had pasta for lunch, you know?
But you're very good at stopping.
Well, so
how do you do the thing? I see you sometimes just tasting, really enjoying it, and stopping there.
Okay, so I'll give you some tips for that. For example, if you're craving pasta like I was today, I really wanted it, and I've been thinking about this truffle pasta for the past few days, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna have it for lunch today. And most restaurants that you go to, you can ask for a starter portion, which is half the size. And that's ideal. I mean, it was so filling. I really didn't need anything more. And I got 2 different green sides. That was sauteed spinach with garlic and steamed broccoli. And I just ate it all together. It was so good. So I believe that if you have a craving for something, you should try to satisfy it in a healthier way. Mm-hmm. And whether that's making, I don't know, zucchini noodles at home because you want pasta, or you're going out with friends and you want to have pasta at a restaurant, just get a starter size or get a pasta to share with your group. And that way you're able to try a few bites and satisfy your craving without depriving yourself and constantly thinking about like why you didn't have that.
That's such good advice, because if you do order the normal portion, it's very hard to stop. But just telling the waiter half the size is easy. And then generally, if you eat that, you're full. Most people will be, because, I mean, in the US especially, the portions are huge.
Oh, huge.
And I remember, like, when I go to the US, the first few days, I'm like, I can't finish the plate. And by the end of a week, I'm finishing it, because we tend to do that as humans. So I
almost feel like I'm healthier when I'm in London or Greece, you know?
Yeah, because it's smaller portions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the food is better regulated here, quality-wise, than it is in the States. So
much.
Yeah,
much.
That's for sure.
I was reading something about organic vegetables in the States.
Oh God!
You know,
is it actually organic?
No,
you have to ask your.
It's better not to buy organic, because what they allow is what they call natural pesticides, and they're actually worse for you than normal pesticides. Look into it, Neda. You're going to be horrified.
Oh God!
So the problem one day I was in Switzerland, and my children said to me, we went skiing in Switzerland, and they said to me, "Mom, why is everything tastier here? The ham, the eggs, everything tastes better than in London." And I thought, it's so true. In the morning, I make them omelets. The eggs are so fresh. They stay together. And I have an American friend who said something to me, who lives there. He said to me, 98% of chemicals and additives and things allowed by the FDA are forbidden in Switzerland. That's why it tastes so fresh.
Wow.
I was shocked. But that's not,
that's a crazy statistic. It's 98%.
It's a crazy statistic. And that's why for people in the US, unfortunately, it's a bit more challenging to lose weight and things like that, because it destroys your gut flora, and your gut flora is responsible for the fact that you have diabetes or not, you're obese or not. So it's even more important to eat for gut health when you're based in the US, or if you travel there, to focus on that.
Totally.
So Neda is very good with portion control, and I think that's an amazing tip, Neda. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll tell you something else, because we're talking about the States and portion control. A lot of times, I see clients, and most of my clients come to me because they want to lose weight, and that's what I specialize in. And one of the tips that I give to them is, when they're going out, and if they're eating fish or chicken or steak, whatever it is, usually the restaurants in New York or in the States in general will serve 2 or 3 times the size that you should be eating. So women should aim to have 3 to 4 ounces of protein for lunch or dinner, but most restaurants are serving 8 to 10. And that's how you can actually gain weight without even realizing it, because they're giving you this chicken breast and you're so used to cleaning up your entire plate, but it's actually too much for what your body should be having.
Yeah, and what happens is, when we eat protein, it does sustain the muscles, but any extra will be converted into glucose, which then the pancreas releases insulin and transforms that glucose in the blood into fat.
Exactly.
So the first like you said, the first 4 to 6 ounces will feed your muscles, regenerate your cells, make you look good, help all your organs, but the extra will be stored as fat. Mm-hmm. So it is important to keep an eye on portion control. Absolutely.
What I like to do when I'm eating out, especially like obviously with a friend or a bunch of friends, I love to get 2 different starters, like a salad and maybe a zucchini carpaccio or a lentil salad, just something, you know, mix it up, and then share an entree, and then get 2-3 different green sides. That way, you're not overeating on the protein, and then you're getting loads of veggies and fiber, and
you're saving money.
Yeah. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. That's such a good tip. Mm-hmm. Amazing, Neda. Well, this was very interesting. I enjoyed it.
It was so fun, yeah.
So what's happening with Healthy with Nedi? You came out with your shake, or your shaker.
The Nedi Martini shaker is out. Yeah, that was very fun to launch, and just perfect timing for like the holidays now. And then for next year, I'm working on launching my paleo bagels, which is such a long process and much harder than I initially thought. I thought I would be selling bagels like by December. No. It's, once you take your recipe and you bring it into a commercial kitchen and you're not using an oven at home, you're using commercial kitchen oven, everything changes. And when you start scaling it up, so.
And it's so hard to keep a good taste. So hard.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of taste testing and different batches, and just want to make sure it's perfect, and we'll go from there.
So this podcast will come out in the new year.
Perfect.
So hopefully your bagels will be out by the time this is released. But it is absolutely true that when you make something at home, it has a certain taste, and the recipe can taste amazing. But then when you bring it to the commercial level, unfortunately, there is, everything changes because it has to be stored and preserved and produced in certain conditions, and it is hard to preserve that taste. I mean, a lot of people tell me, "Oh my God, you should commercialize this, your banana bread, this and that." But I know that it is, that's amazing taste.
But you
people
should.
Get. Well, once you do it, you can show me the way.
Steps. No, I had no idea what I was doing, and I have so many interviews and meetings, and like in the States at least, you basically, if you go to a co-packer, the minimum order is 50,000 bagels.
Yes.
Or banana breads, whatever you want to be selling. And I'm like, how am I going to make 50,000 bagels? Like, how are we going to sell 50,000 bagels in 1 week? Like, that's insane, Hopefully one day. So yeah, it's a lot of trial and error.
It is. But it's so interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm loving this. It's so nice to get the feedback from people when you release a recipe, and the encouragement when you do well with something is lovely.
It's so nice. It's very rewarding because, you love cooking and you're so passionate about it, and knowing that other people love your food, and just so nice.
And you meet lovely people like I'm meeting you. You make new girlfriends.
Let's go eat some tagine now.
Yeah. Let's go. Well, thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. Neda, thank you so much for joining us today. It was lovely having you over on the podcast.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun.
My pleasure. So if you want to follow Neda, her Instagram handle is Healthy with Nedi, and her website is healthywithnedi.com. Go and check out her amazing recipes. I mean, she's a very creative cook, so I strongly encourage you to go and have a look.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks to all of you for listening. If you care about your skin and are not on the Eat, Burst, Sleep plan yet, you should definitely check it out, because chronic inflammation really damages and ages the organs, and our skin is our biggest organ. Rosacea, wrinkles, pigmentation, acne, dermatitis, psoriasis, so many skin conditions are linked to chronic inflammation. You can head on to eatburnsleep.com and check out the Eat, Burn, Sleep lifestyle plan. Thank you to all of you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to go on eatburnsleep.com to learn more about gut health and chronic inflammation. I would really appreciate if you could rate this podcast, and of course, feel free to share it with anyone who might enjoy it. Have a beautiful day.